So, Square Enix finally showed the first trailer for Marvel's The Avengers, the project they've been working on for the longest time, so I have no doubt that a lot of effort and love has gone into this project. And I won't lie, there is excitement in seeing this all come to fruition, and this is kind of so far the sum total of their efforts, and it's not bad. There are certainly things I like in this trailer, and it certainly has my interest. However, I won't pretend that I'm not a little bit blasé on this. I certainly have a lot of reservations going into this. However, this is an initial trailer, these are my initial thoughts, so take that as what it is. But at the end of the day, it is only an opinion, so don't take it personally, and there's nothing you can do about it. What I'll say from the get-go is I'm looking forward to seeing more. However, I feel that the direction that this trailer goes in was not the right one for me anyway. However, I do think it's good. I'm sure a lot of people are going to love this trailer. And it's the kind of thing I certainly would have really been in love with had it not been for events past in the greater sense of this franchise. So from the get-go though, one thing I really was happy to see was that this is all made of in-engine game footage. But what this means is, sadly, that most of it is in cutscenes, just not the pre-rendered ones. There are glimpses of gameplay here and there, which I will acknowledge. However, this is a mostly story-focused trailer, which I think is the biggest mistake of this trailer. The lineup for the Avengers that we have in this game is probably the most notable and most iconic one. It's the 2012 lineup of Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, the Hulk, and Black Widow. And this game is set for release in the spring of 2020. So here's my issue with this, is the timing of it. I, like many other fans I'm sure, am fresh off of Avengers Endgame, which brought us the conclusion to the story of this very Avengers lineup. And with that conclusion, for many, this story proved definitive for these characters. The absolute best story that could possibly be told for these characters has just this year been told. And next year, we're going to bring those characters back for another story. Square Enix have opened some insanely huge boots to fill with this. So surely the main grabbing point for this should be that you actually get to play that story. You actually get to take part in it and influence that story. But sadly, this trailer is more focused on just the setup of this story. And rather than having like a small humble beginning, it really does look like we are in for the next massive Avengers event already, as we appear to establish some stakes that really put the Avengers and the morality behind the Avengers in jeopardy. And worst yet, it appears that Captain America has not survived the events of this. Now, I'm sorry, I know a lot of losers are going to take offense to this, but like, is anyone else getting Batman v Superman to Justice League vibes from this? There's a big statue of Captain America, he's dead, and now the Avengers have to kind of have like a little ragtag team to kind of avenge him. I'll be interested to see how that plays out, but like a lot of things in this trailer, it's just kind of there without much rhyme or reason. We have a woman of undisclosed identity, presumably not an Avenger judging by her dialogue, narrating this trailer, but we don't know who she is, and we never in this trailer find out who she is, so what's it mean? We see that Captain America has not survived the events of whatever the heck battle was going on, but we don't know why or what happened, so how is that a good thing? We see that the helicarrier has crashed, but we don't really know how, so how is that a good thing? We see a lot of crashing and bashing on a bridge, but we don't really know what the reason of this is. So why am I excited? And there's just so much in this trailer that I know is meant to make me impressed, but just doesn't, because we've just kind of seen it before. There's this lengthy moment where Bruce Banner sort of transforms into the Hulk, and I know I'm supposed to be excited, but I've seen him do this a million billion times. I would much rather see him do this in gameplay than in cutscene form, to see how it more influences the genre that it's in, as opposed to more storytelling and more of the same. This is my main issue with this, is we've seen this very Avengers lineup of Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, and Hulk. We've all seen them go on this journey already in story form. So I really feel like a trailer for more gameplay based is going to get me more excited. However, it has to be said, there is some gameplay in this trailer. It just doesn't really show us much of what these characters can do or their mechanics. It all looks very restrictive in this trailer and very situational. I'm sure that it won't be. I have confidence and faith that it won't be. I mean, it's pretty standard fare when the clips of gameplay are only seconds long at most. I just feel like to really wow me for an Avengers game, they really needed to focus on the fact that it's an Avengers game, as opposed to saying, look, it's the Avengers. Look at that, Bruce Banner's transforming into the Hulk. Look at that, Iron Man's floating and doing stuff. Oh, how cool is that? It's like, yeah, well, I've seen Iron Man wield Infinity Stones and kill Thanos. Like, why should I care? If they wanted to make a story-based trailer, I feel like it would have been wisest to sort of really establish these new Avengers types and kind of make a distinction between this and the movies, and this trailer just doesn't really do that. The bit I'm most excited about is the sort of gravity-looking outer space sequence where Iron Man is wearing the deep space armor. Now that looks really cool. In terms of the dialogue and voice acting, though, it all really reminds me a lot of those little cartoons that they did with Iron Man and Spider-Man going up against Gigantamo. They were made in 2008, I believe, to sort of familiarize younger audiences with Iron Man before the release of his own film. And they were really fun for what they are. It's just, it's that very stock sort of Marvel feel to it, you know? There's not really anything to really distinguish it from what we already know, which really just kind of adds that sort of been there, done that feel to it. I think this is something where gameplay and more strictly gameplay-focused trailers and everything like that will really help this. Is the fact that right now with this trailer, all I can really say is, well, been there, done that, whereas once I'm actually playing it, or seeing someone get properly hands-on with it, I'll be seeing stuff that's actually new and can excite me, because yeah, I'd love to play as these characters. The thing is, even that I've already kind of done in a way. I've played the LEGO Marvel Superheroes game, which I feel is a definitive Marvel Avengers game. Because of its versatility with the characters, it's really exciting gameplay with a big open world where you can really get to know these characters in this universe, and it's sort of everything goes kind of a tone. They're definitely going for something a lot more dark-hearted here, but that also really does restrict the storytelling potential as well. I'm also just really unsure as to how this game can really work, though. Like, how an Avengers game could really truly work. What made it work in LEGO form was kind of the simplicity of it and the versatility of the playstyle. If you want to take that really seriously, though, you can't have that sense of uniformity across the characters. Making Iron Man work in video game form is difficult enough because of all of his suit's capabilities, and you're immediately going to want to think like, oh yeah, can I do this thing that he does in the movies? Can I do that thing that he does in the movies? But you need like a controller that's like 4 times the size to do everything that he does in those movies. With Captain America, it's not quite so bad because you could kind of have the Batman Arkham sort of a playstyle, just throw in the shield instead of batarangs. But with Thor, how is that going to work? With the Hulk, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be fun God of War sort of destruction. And with Black Widow, I'd imagine there's a lot of stealth. This is kind of why I don't have that much faith and confidence in the gameplay, though, is that like getting Iron Man alone right has proven to be a very difficult task. So getting all of the Avengers right in one game and then having the game paced well is going to be another thing entirely. How is that going to work? Are we going to do like one level as Iron Man, one level as Captain America, one level as Black Widow, etc, etc, etc? Or is it going to be stories based? Like I could imagine it working kind of if they did like the story structure of, like, say, Sonic Adventure or something, where you have, like, Iron Man and Captain America's stories are kind of the longest ones. Then you have, like, Hulk has a story, and Black Widow has a story, and Thor has a story. And then once all those are done, you unlock kind of the final act of the game. Like, what order is this all going to be in? Because if the playstyle keeps changing constantly from bit to bit, you're going to have to re-grasp the controls all over again. And that's just going to become a pain. Like, outside of a LEGO game, Iron Man and Black Widow, for example, they cannot control, like, one another, surely. So, like, you're gonna have to sort of reshuffle that every single level. And maybe that's part of the challenge, I don't know, but that doesn't sound all that enjoyable to me. I really think when it comes to video games, they would be really best off just focusing on one character per game, but, I mean, it's something that's not been done before, and if it works out, it could be really exciting, just like the first Avengers movie. It could be history kind of repeating itself. So there's potential, and there's a good reason to be excited, and there's a good reason to sort of really anticipate this thing. It's just, for now, I've got my own reservations, because I just don't know what to make of this. I just wish we had something a little more gameplay-focused, you know? Like, the thing is, like, I'm ultimately grateful that it's not just a cinematic trailer. Like, here's a question, right? Anyone that follows video games, any patron of video games and everything, who actually ever gets excited when they see not in-game footage before a game trailer? Like, who actually gets excited by that? Like, you're not going to play any of that, so what's it matter, you know? I guess I'll just quickly touch on the presentation of this trailer. I thought the voice acting was fine. I think the redesigns are, for the most part, fine. Not fond of Captain America's outfit in this. Like, I really don't like the way that looks. Thor, definitely more classic looking. Iron Man looks very MCU, as does Hulk. I think the graphics are not the best they could be, but I'm guessing the size of this thing is gonna dictate a lot of that, you know? Like, it can't necessarily look as amazing as Spider-Man PS4 if you're focusing that much into how many characters you've got to go with here. Like, data and size is a factor, so, like, I'll be fair. No, it doesn't look as good as Batman Arkham Knight or Spider-Man PS4, but it does look good for what it is. So yeah, that's just my overall opinions on the Marvel's Avengers game trailer. I think it will be pretty good. I'm optimistic about this, but cautiously optimistic. At the same time, I just don't think this is going to wow me as much as it would have before Infinity War. But what do you guys think? Comment below and discuss, and as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button in the description below. There's a link to my Patreon if you want to support this channel any further, or there's always the Discord where you can come and have a chat with me and my friends. It's a lot of fun in there. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.